Hi, my name is Griff Richards. I'm with the African Virtual University, and today I'd like to talk to you about sustaining collaborative open education resource development. This is in honor of the March 2014 Open Education Week. The African Virtual University is an intergovernmental organization. Our goal is to help close the access gap to post-secondary education in Africa. Currently, most nations in Africa average about 6% of their population going to post-secondary education. Our goal is to try and help raise it to 12%. This is still a far cry from the 40 to 45% enjoyed in North America and Europe. One of the problems is the construction of face-to-face campuses can't keep pace with the current population growth. We want to promote open and distance education through e-learning, and we also want to cross the language and cultural barriers that are impediments to increasing the access. Here's a map of Africa showing the countries we work with. You note that the blue ones are the Francophone nations, the orange ones are the Anglophone nations, and in green we have the three Lusophone or Portuguese-speaking countries. So we have 21 countries, and in those 21 countries we have 27 universities currently involved in what's called the Multinational Project Phase 2. This project is funded by the African Development Bank. This project also follows on the Multinational Project Phase 1, which ran from 2005 to 2011. At the end of that project, our outputs from working with 12 universities in 10 countries were 73 teacher education modules. These were translated into English, French, and Portuguese, so that in total we have 219 modules available as open education resources. These were distributed in print format or as print images in DVD. They were also put online on our portal oer.avu.org and our mirror site on Scribed. As well, a number of videos that accompany the materials were put up on YouTube. Since 2010, we've had about 2 million accesses to our repositories worldwide. Surprisingly, the most popular space seems to be in Brazil, where they tend to go after our Portuguese resources. Now here's the issue. These modules are approaching 5 years of age, and it's time to revise. So the African Development Bank very graciously funded us in Multinational Project Phase 2 to upgrade these modules. So we have the 73 modules in 3 languages, so we have 219 courses to update. Now, but we also have new modules. In addition to those 219, we have 10 new modules in teacher education, 54 modules to do in computing science, 12 in faculty professional development, 4 in peace management and conflict and resolution. We multiply those by 3 and add them all up. We have a total of 459 courses to produce in the next 2 years. Now that's a lot of material, but what's important is that almost half of those, are revisions of previous modules. Can you imagine what a multinational project phase 3 would be like in terms of the resources to update 459 modules as well as develop 200 or 300 new modules? The problem we're facing is that it's not a problem so much to create the OERs. The problem becomes how do you maintain those OERs so that users will have up-to-date and relevant and timely materials to use. Now, our philosophy is that the best people to maintain OERs should probably be the instructors and learners who use them. They're the ones who are closest to the content, and they're the ones who know what the problems are. So how can we get them to give us a hand? Well, this community can help us maintain the OER collection by helping with a lot of the different tasks that are involved. Authors can help us write and review modules. Technicians and interested people can help us format them. Members of other language communities can help translate them into their mother languages. Students can help reporting errors. Instructors who are using the materials can comment on their usefulness. They can suggest new ideas for learning activities. They can suggest resources that we might use. They might add questions to our question bank. They might spot errors or places in our content that needs updating, or links that have gone dead and need to be fixed. Even the students can help, because the learners can ask questions. We can gather those up as frequently asked questions, and our faculty can then respond to those questions and help clarify the content where the problems have been noted. So this ongoing OER development cycle, it keeps moving and keeps moving and keeps moving in a circle, and we can see that most of it is developed right now in the design and delivery and development, and there's very little bit of maintenance, and then we have one big push on maintenance at the end. What we'd like to do is to take that development cycle and turn it into a corkscrew so that it goes ahead over time. And we have a sustainable, ongoing OER community that has community momentum behind the continual maintenance of the materials. And you can see that our role at the African Virtual University becomes working with the new materials and the curriculum design and distribution, and giving a hand and encouragement to the processes of curriculum authoring, subject matter expert review, editing, media production, translation, review of those translations, and in general the ongoing maintenance issues. So that means we have to be very careful to sustain our OER community. So what do we think will be working? Well, first of all, we can foster personal professional connections so there's value in the community beyond the OERs. The second is we can continue to develop and train professors in the universities so that they know about our process from the get-go and can support it and can see the advantages of working together. And to do this, we need to provide common tools and templates to make the process of authoring and editing much easier, to make it consistent, and to also encourage maintenance as people see problems. To make that happen, we have to invest in community infrastructure, services, and analytics. The analytics are very important. We don't really know how many of the people using our first phase modules are actually using them. But if we had analytics tied into our community services, we would be able to see where the problems are lying. We can also create a program to encourage volunteer course maintenance, to encourage authors to keep on working on frequently asked questions, to ask students to help us build up a question bank for formative assessment, and of course, the most important of all is to help people whose mother tongues are another language and who are requesting open education resources in their language groups to help us with the translations. Most important of all, we want to recognize and reward all the contributions at all these levels. Finally, there's a role, I think, for the AVU to continuously try to help find funding and opportunities as the community grows together. Now, there are still some future issues that we have to deal with. For example, in Africa, there are still regions that are struggling with ICTs and connectivity. And also, content is only one side of the puzzle. We have to worry about the pedagogical approach, what happens to administration of online and distance education courses, what about the technology bases in the institutions. All of those also need support. The other thing we need to realize is that broadening the participation rate from 6% to 12% means that we have to recognize a greater diversity of students than are currently in the elite that go into the universities in Africa now. We also have to encourage local stakeholder advisory committees to get involved in the process and to promote open education. There's not a lot known at the local level by employers about what is open education and how it works. They're not involved at all. And so if we get a program of awareness and acceptance, market responsiveness, then we can find that we will have regionalization can take place, and we will have employers who are willing in our applied courses like computing science to accept students for projects and internship, and therefore increase the likelihood that they'll be able to transfer their new skills into employment opportunities. So thank you very much. I only wanted to take a few minutes to talk about the direction we're moving. I hope that this is not something that the African Virtual University does by itself, that we can address the issues of sustainability for the broader OER community, and that other people will join us in this endeavor. Thank you very much for your time.